Hello everyone, welcome back to the stream. Hope everyone is doing well. Let me just fix the camera, we're all good. So today we're just going to be talking about this move up. We did have a slight move up after the dump yesterday. We bounced off the 786 from this current wick low to this current high. So we bounced off this 786. From yesterday, wick above, close below, no problem there. We didn't build any sort of divergences though, so I would expect this move to just be another lower high, more or less. So coming down to the 1 hour time frame on Bitcoin. Right, so we got this bounce yesterday. So what we're talking about yesterday is once we got that bounce, which also on the daily term time frame, what is just a retest. Obviously the wick wicked a bit lower, so the 786 would have been more accurate indicator, but was also a retest of this, once again, this value area. So just coming back to the 1 hour time frame, after this bottom was put in, what we talked about yesterday is where do we take profits on that scalp long. Those would be these three areas, right? So the first one would be this first fair value gap, which we filled. The second one would be the second fair value gap, and the third one would be this fair value gap, which is 6.8, and the 705 is in right now. So let's just take a look at smaller term time frames to see if any divergence for me. No, there's no clear divergence for me. So at this point, we'll take a look at the SPX to just get a look at. Hello, Dima. Just to see how traditional markets are taking a look at. How are they looking? Yesterday the close, we wick above, close below, so technically it is a swing failure pattern. We've seen this plenty of times in pretty much all markets, where they'll wick below, take that liquidity, then pull it back, and then continue to trend. So I don't want to take this as to be like necessarily macro swing failure pattern where I think we're going to come back, back into the 618, which would be all the way up here. At 40.57. I don't expect that to occur. Mostly because we didn't build any divergences off of this low. So I would be expecting just another lower high on small term time frames. So looking at small term time frames, we do still have this gap up above. So I am expecting this gap to at least fill before the next downturn. Just be wary that we are building hidden bearish divergence at the time. We have between this high right here and this current high right here. So this looks primed to fill this gap, possibly have a slight pullback beforehand, but really fill this gap and then continue the downtrend. So coming back to Bitcoin, what do we expect for Bitcoin? Essentially the same. So what will be the two conditions here for continuing the uptrend or not continuing the uptrend? Would be on very small term time frame. So we're using the 5-minute time frame, so just be aware that this is less accurate, but because this is such a quick move, I'm going to be using smaller term time frames. So a break below 19,366 on the 5-minute time frame, so closure below will invalidate this uptrend, meaning that we're most likely going to continue to the downside. Until that is broken, I still think we do have potential upside, especially to the top of this fair value gap plus the 705 at 19,810. So I think 19,810 at the 705 Fibonacci retracement is still very much in play for now. So once again, invalidation of that idea will be break below this level. So if you break if we break below this level, right, then we come back and retest this level at 19,366. Or we pull back into that corresponding bearish order block, for example, like the last significant move up before that break. So if we did something along the lines of this break right here, we would look for a pullback into the last significant move up before the market structure break, and then we would look for our rejection, and then we would take a short position, and so on and so forth. So until then, I still think upside potential, small time frames, is definitely there. So when the SPX fills this gap, or is at least within this gap, and Bitcoin is up in this region, I'm definitely more comfortable taking a short before market structure break. So we're still in bullish market structure, small time frames. We just come over here and we get a rejection off of this level, then I will take a short position. Cool. So let's take a look at Ethereum versus Bitcoin. So Ethereum versus Bitcoin, so what we've been saying is that we still have to come back and fill this fair value gap to the downside. Retesting this point of control here, but really expecting this to come back and fill this fair value gap once this breaks out of this region. We were at least expecting another move up, potentially, I believe, yesterday, unless this was skewed beforehand, and it wasn't yet. So ideally, if this were to play out as we like, it would come up and break above this value area high before breaking down out of this region. But you can't really hope for that when you're breaking down like this. Just to note that we do have a flow volume node right here. I'll mark that on the charts, which we actually did bounce out of already. So it seems like Ethereum versus Bitcoin is currently breaking down. What invalidate the breakdown would be getting above that value or high, closing above it. You could do something as small as a 1 hour time frame if you want to be more conservative than just a 4 hour time frame. Ethereum itself still range bound, right? So we still are expecting this fair value gap to at least be filled. Coming back to this, let's just pull the volume profile, since this is still developing range. See, we came back and retested this value area low. We also got this stray wick, which I believe was of this huge range, the 76 Fibonacci level as well. So what are we expecting now that we're back above the point control and retested the point control again? Is continuation to upside. First roadblock is going to be this value area high, if I can come back to it. This value area high along with this 618. So although we are still expecting this fair value gap on small, I believe this was the 30-minute time frame, maybe even 15-minute time frame. Yeah, this fair value gap here to get filled, just be wary that this right here, the 618 plus the value area high, might get rejection. What would give us more confidence is if Bitcoin is also at its 705, plus that fair value gap that we're just looking at the same time while it comes up to the 618. So if it comes up to the 618 while Bitcoin is also doing those sorts of things, then we would expect that to be its local high. But if not, and Bitcoin and Ethereum takes off and sets a new high without Bitcoin going to there first, then I'm still expecting the 705 plus this fair value gap at 1355, and the fair value gap tops out at 1364 closure basis on the 1 hour time frame. So if we wick above, close below on that, short positions should pay well at that point. Cool. All right. Well, at this point, I will ask for any coins you guys want to look at. I will take a look at gold, just for our sake. Okay, so we are getting a bounce off the 705 Fibonacci retracement, which is perfectly fine, perfectly kind of, at least a small bounce is kind of expected. These levels are going to get treated, you know, as it goes down. So 1 hour time frame, but we are still expecting this 786 to get hit at some point. Coming down to the 1 hour time frame, you could definitely argue that this right here was a market structure break. We are having a significant significant pullback up. But if we are going to continue this bearish, bullish market structure, which I'm a bit wary of, we would expect a pullback into this level right here, which is the last significant move down before the market structure break, between 1630 and 1621, pulling our Fibonacci levels. We haven't set a high yet, but roughly, if we were to top out around this region, we also have this fair value gap right here. The 705 is as long as we top out within somewhat of this region, the 705 is in within like reason within this bearish bullish order block, so it should hold some weight there. So where do we expect this move to top out at? Let's just pull our fibs. There you go. So once again, we had this fair value gap between 1664 and 1622. Very small one, but it is there, and the 705 is also within that. So for whatever reason, 705 seems to be getting hit a lot on gold. So between 1664, I expect this to top out at least a little pullback at that point. And if we wick above, close below, short position should do well on the 1 hour time frame. So wick above, close below on the 705. Or it could just wick to it perfectly, but I highly doubt that. Then come back and retest this market structure break line. So that would be the first take profit level. We wick below, close above on that. And the 1 hour time frame, we might just get a continuation to the upside. We don't necessarily have to pull back into this bearish bullish order block, right? That the bullish order block is only there, and only there if we break below this, which is on a closer basis, and then we can get the pull back into this. So this would be the second take profit level of that short position. Cool. Let's look at the DXY. DXY came up exactly to this fair value gap that we've had planned out for a little bit, right? We had this one right here with the 786. We got a slight pullback on there. But then this huge monthly fair value gap finally got hit almost to the T, and we are getting a quite significant pullback, which is explaining why all the other markets, all the other assets are doing pretty well, and especially gold. Gold is pretty uncorrelated or negatively correlated to the DXY, so that explains this huge move up for gold. Where do I see the DXY pull back? Fairly significantly, to be honest. I would be somewhat confident in calling this a local or macro-ish top. I do expect at this point, after this gap fill, to continue to the downside. Now, what would invalidate that major idea would be essentially breaking above this fair value gap. We could do something like the daily time frame, which would be comfortable with. So breaking above this fair value gap would then give targets of the range highs at 121, which hasn't happened since 2001. So just keep that in mind. I don't see it doing much better. I think this might be like a really direct correlation with the euro. Yeah, this looks fine. Which is having a very bad month. But at this point, yeah, the euro itself is also within a support and resistance level at the 76. We did break below 76, but the month still has a few more days. Came back and filled this fair value gap down to here. So I do expect that these things start to turn up relatively soon, leading the DXY to put in a pretty massive correction. You know, macro wise, like just taking a look at it, the whole chart, is not very bullish, right? We've had we set this high, and ever since then it kind of looks like a low cap altcoin chart. We have a blow off top, set a lower high, lower low, and coincidentally, just because of that, I would expect that we set a lower high here, just following that market structure, that macro market structure of lower high, lower lows. If we break above this macro high here, which once again I'm not expecting to do, but if we do, then that changes a lot of things, and you'll probably see that bleed over into the markets. And I think after that, then things aren't looking too good for a lot of risk-on assets, if you will, or assets that take on a lot of borrowed money, like yeah. That's probably not the best way to put it. I don't know off the top of my head. Assets that require a lot of margin. I mean, that's just a more sophisticated way to put it. But yeah. Okay. So at that point, I will ask anybody in the chat what coin you guys want me to look at. But if not, then that's pretty much all I have to say about the major coins and indices. Alright, so at that point I will bid you all farewell. Thank you all for joining. Links in the description below for our Discord server. A lot of good traders in there, great to learn from, and it's completely free. Also, if you trade on Bybit, 30% off all your fees in the description below. So that could help you save some money. Just use the link in the description, or in the description of the video to make an account. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thank you guys. Bye.